Hi everyone. I wanted to put a video out as we prepare to begin writing our own poetry. So hopefully this will help you if you're having difficulty getting started. So what you see on the screen, this website is called mindomo.com, mindomo.com, and it's a mind mapping software. There are others, in addition to Mindomo, or you could also do this on a sheet of paper because the concept will be the same. So basically, I have my theme in the center, and the theme for the poetry contest is summer or vacation, or summer vacation. So from that, I create these topics. Okay, so I thought to myself, when I think of summer or vacation, I'm thinking about the heat, relaxation, traveling, the beach. Okay, and then as you see, I started when I go to each topic, say the heat, then I'm thinking about subtopics. Okay, specifically what heat waves that you might see, the scorching sun. I think of mid-July, just certain phrases, certain memories that stick out. Then with relaxation, I think of a hammock or an umbrella drink. I think of sleeping in, just relaxing, lazy days at the beach, right? So I haven't got to beach yet, but you get the idea. So this is just this is great for visual learners, or no matter your learning style. This is a great way to collect your thoughts and begin the pre-writing process. So what this will look like as I start transferring this to my poem. Okay, so here's the beginning of a summer poem. Um, And so, first stanza, wheels up, we set our sights on the ocean. You still get nervous crossing the Bay Bridge. We make a pit stop for lunch in Cambridge, and then it's straight on to Coastal Highway. Okay? Pretty straightforward. That's just taken directly from my traveling topic. Okay? And then once we get to Ocean City, okay, my second stanza, the salty night air welcomes us back home. The Ferris wheel glows on the horizon. The possibilities are electric. The sun-kissed youth parading for their peers. Okay, so a little bit of alliteration there. I'm just describing the sights and sounds and the smells, just whatever I think about when I think Ocean City. Okay, so that's what I'm beginning to flesh out. Now, writing a poem is no different from any piece of writing. Okay, we have our pre-writing phase. Okay, then we start to uh, structure it. Okay, somewhat in our stanzas, but then we're going to go back and edit this. Okay, we'll go line by line. Okay, does this line have too many syllables? Not enough syllables? Are there words that I can use that would improve the flow of the line? Okay, so it's always a work in progress. Now, speaking of stanzas, uh, so lines and stanzas are to poetry what sentences and paragraphs are to prose. That may be an overgeneralization, but that analogy can help you conceptualize the structure of a poem. Okay, so w- we know what prose looks like. It's what we typically read when we're reading fiction, nonfiction. Here you have the beginning of Moby Dick by Herman Melville. Okay, sentences, paragraph. Okay, as opposed to Sonnet 18 by William Shakespeare. Um, Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Okay, so it's clearly a different form, right? We have lines, we have stanzas. But I don't want you to think that, all poetry has to be so kind of uptight or austere, right? Um, Take a look at this more modern example by Gwendolyn Brooks. We Real Cool. The Pool Players, 7 at the Golden Shovel. We Real Cool. We left school. We lurk late. We strike straight. We sing sin. We thin gin. We jazz June. We die soon. Okay, short but effective. So, as I said, writing poetry is similar to writing prose. In that we want to focus both on what we say and how we say it. Okay. So, take the following two lines of poetry for example. Okay. First one. The sun was shining down on us as we stared out at the ocean. Okay. Now, let's say that a different way. Example number 2. Sun-soaked, we stared out at the vast tapestry of blue. So both statements offer the same meaning, but number 2 is more poetic. Why? Well, for starters, the alliteration of sun-soaked, stared, and the blue tapestry, serving as a metaphor for the ocean, improve on our first example, but there are other factors at play here too. So vast tapestry is an example of assonance, which is the repetition of vowel sounds in nearby words. So you have vast tapestry, okay? So along with alliteration, assonance is another poetic sound device. So as we said, they both have the same meaning, but it's not only meaning, it's how are you saying it. What is the flow of the sentence, or what is the flow of the line? How does it sound? Is it pleasing to the ear? Okay. The other factor that makes number 2 more preferable than number 1 is, as we said, the flow. So you always want to keep a thesaurus handy. I don't care if it's poetry, prose, whatever you're writing. You always want to help yourself kind of dig out of those ruts and find, add some new vocabulary to your writing. Okay, so sometimes you just need a word that flows better. Maybe you need more or fewer syllables. So I made a note here that my first example had 16 syllables. Second example had 3 fewer syllables. Fewer syllables, not always the goal, but it certainly can work, as we saw in the example by Gwendolyn Brooks. So, just to recap, pre-writing, okay, Mindomo is a great resource, or you can find another mind mapping software or do this on paper, but you want to get your ideas on paper first, or in some sort of pre-writing software like this. Okay, flesh them out, think sensory, okay, touch, taste, smell, feel, hear. Start there. Start with memories, or it doesn't. We can just be thinking about places we want to go. Okay, it can be in the future. All right, so this is a great place to start before we begin structuring our poem into stanzas. You can choose to take this approach here where, as in our analogy of sentences and paragraphs to lines and stanzas in poems, here, okay, the stanzas are really mirroring paragraphs because we have this first stanza, which is all about traveling to the beach, and then the second stanza is about arriving at the beach, okay? So, I hope you found this helpful. As always, you can reach me by email if you have further questions, and happy writing.